Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kibicho YouTube channel. I want to comment about something that was released this morning and that has been in the media and, of course, in the print media regarding elections section 22 or 22. We normally call it section 22 of the Elections Act, where all leaders across the political landscape should have a degree. And I really feel that we have a problem when it comes to matters education in the Republic of Kenya. It pains me to the core when I see leaders opposing matters education. In fact, as part of my preamble, the issue of people saying that God created some of us with what we call leadership qualities, that is neither here nor there. That is pure hogwash. That is utter rubbish. And I say it with confidence, that is utter rubbish. We know, of course, we have had leaders without education and they have done well. But then we say they have done well in respect to what parameter? What is the gauge? What is the barometer? What are they using to gauge and say that these people did well? If there are some parameters set and this leader attains 90%, yes, we can justify and say that at least those leaders without degrees, they performed. But you cannot come personally and tell me that a leader who has got no qualifications, that they should continually hold on saying what we call, they're not raising the issues on this matter. It is very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. For a pilot to fly an aircraft, through formal training. It does not matter whether he or she has been flying with his siblings or with his daughter or his son. The fact of the matter, this person must go for formal training. You cannot just wake up and tell us that because you understand herbal medicine. I have no problems with what you call herbal medicine, that you qualify to be a doctor. Not really. You have to go through formal training. So I want to challenge our leaders. We have people, number one, and I have repeated this many times, we have had no shortage of educated people in Kenya. We have had no shortage of educated people in Kenya. So if you really want to become a member of parliament, if you really want to become a governor, if you want to become an MCA, kindly go back to school. The universities are not closed. And I'm supporting Honorable Aden Duale 185%. That even as we speak right now, I'm a lecturer in a university. I've already taught this semester using online platform. So anybody who is actually out there insinuating that the universities are not being taught because of COVID-19 is completely mistaken. And these are the people who suffer from what we call knowledge scarcity syndrome. Knowledge scarcity syndrome. We require a university degree for an MCA. Honestly, when you go to the chambers and you discuss about what you call the fiscal policy, the monetary policy, the aggregate demand, the aggregate supply, the per capita income, consumer index, and you have no idea what this one means. What contribution will you make in that particular floor? I am for the university degree at whatever level, be it MCA, be it member of parliament, woman rep, senator, governor, or the president. Again, why did we go to school? Who says that we have a shortage of educated people in Kenya? We don't have shortage of educated people in Kenya. As a matter of fact, we have got so many people out there who vote people based on how much money they are dishing out, not how best suited they are to lead those particular positions. So I'm actually saying that we require university degree as a basic requirement to enter into any elective position. It is a paradox that we are educating our children, and the very people who should be safeguarding the interests of educated people are raising their voices hoarse in defense that no, the degree should not be a requirement. No, a degree must be a requirement. Those people desirous of joining political arena must have a university degree. I agree with Honorable Badi. I agree with Honorable Duale. I agree with those other people who are saying that university degree is a requirement. Why? Because the matters being discussed in these floors, whether it is in the National Assembly, whether it is in the Senate, whether it is in the County Assembly, those matters are weighty. They require people who understand. And again, who says that those wards, they do not, or those county wards do not have competent men and women to become MCAs, to become members of parliament, to become women reps, to become senators or governors of presidents? No, education is a must. I'm not saying so because I'm educated, but I know the benefits of education. For how long shall we entertain mediocrity in our Republic of Kenya? That's why many things don't go the way we would like them to go. Because the people who have been given the mandate to lead us, they do not understand where we are headed to. They do not have the compass of development. So we require that particular academic qualification. We have our daughters and sons who are in school right now. If at all the people who should be passing those laws would be motivating them to go to school and, of course, acquire those particular academic qualifications, do not have value for the academic papers, then where are we headed to as a nation? We require a degree as a basic requirement for an elective position in Kenya. Sometimes I look at the matters that get discussed in Parliament. Like now, I know an honorable member of Parliament of a given constituency within Nairobi who has never spoken even a single word. He only puts his good photos during campaigns, and I don't know whether people voting for because of his good looks. But good looks don't deliver. Good looks will never deliver. Yes, good looks never deliver. Even Ashita looks nice in the forest, but its business is actually to maintain and balance the ecosystem in terms of hunting gazelles. So we are not interested in what we call looks of our members of parliament or our elective leaders. We want people who can deliver. And therefore, a degree must be a requirement. A degree must be a requirement. I know I'm going to become very unpopular. I don't care whether I become very unpopular or not. Even this popularity that I have by the end of the day does not put food on my table. What matters by the end of the day is when you represent what we call facts on the ground. I'm advocating that leaders must have a university degree. Some members of parliament have never spoken. They have never even given their maiden speech, because either they do not understand what is being discussed on the floor, or either they have nothing to say because they are completely unaware of what is happening with those particular precedents. So why shouldn't we embrace that? Education normally broadens the minds of individuals, and people think, from a very wide scope. Education makes you know the difference between sense and nonsense. Education makes you understand the context and the content of discussion that has been tabled. Education makes you know the priorities to give if you have been given a responsibility. If you have been given a certain responsibility, to be able to know what are the priority issues that you put in the list. So we cannot remain wherever this nation was many, many years ago. We must embrace education. I have no problem whatsoever. I have no one that I'm targeting, but I'm saying we must embrace education, and more so degree as the minimum basic requirement to enter into elective position. And I want to say this. There is no single place which is well established that requires people without any basic knowledge and information and education. So we require men and women who understand whether the debates being deliberated on, what we call the topics of the day, the subjects of the day, and how they can be able to contribute towards that. So my take is that we require to have the minimum academic qualification for an elective position in Kenya to be a degree. These guys have been postponing. In the year 2013, I think they postponed. In the year 2017, they postponed. And now they want to postpone again. Procrastination is the thief of time. Procrastination is the assassinator of dreams. And again, we are not in crisis in terms of education. We have men and women who are very, very competent out there languishing in poverty because they do not have a platform, or because their parents or their people in their family, they appear nowhere in the popularity list. We cannot continually hold on to this kind of thinking. We require men and women who have got academic qualifications, and more so the basic university degree. And that is my position. And I'm not going to change that position. And I believe it's my hope that this time loud, our parliamentarians, although some of them are victims, the problem is that we have victims in our parliament. We have victims in our Senate. And therefore, If the voice of those people who do not have degrees reign supreme, then the status quo is going to remain. But I'm advocating that we need to uphold that position, that the minimum qualification should be a university degree, because they discuss weighty matters. They discuss matters pertaining to this Republic of Kenya. And again, we have no crisis of people who are not educated. We have got very many men and women who are educated, who can be able to deliver. And I'm going to challenge our Kenyan people or our Kenyan voters. Do not vote somebody because you've been given 200 shillings. You need to ask yourself, where do you put yourself if you voted somebody because he gave you 200 shillings? How long will that money sustain you? You have given this person a platform for 60 months or 5 years to be precise, to go and represent your interest in parliament, in Senate, or maybe in the county assembly. So if you put somebody who does not understand what ought to be done, don't you think you'll be contributing to the failure of your place? So we must elect people. The problem is that, and I am saying it out of experience, I filed for Nyeri Town parliamentary seat in the year 2007. We were 30 contestants. I had one of the best manifestos ever produced in this particular Republic of Kenya. But because I had no financial muscle per se, I spent a few millions I had in my hands at that point in time. I never saw the light of the day. So we have had people coming, and sometimes you hear people complain. Never complain if you have a bad leader. Those are the leaders that you put on board. So if those leaders don't deliver, don't blame them. You are the people. Actually, your leader is a reflection of who you are. So if you find yourself being led by a fool because he never put himself there, the fool number one is you, because you're the one who put that person there. So if you want to see, allow me to say this without prejudice, and I'm going to talk about Professor Kivutha Kibwana of Makueni County. That man has transformed Makueni County. Why? Professor Shepkwony, Paul Shepkwony of Kericho, what he has done a lot of things. I appreciate my Governor Mutahi. Kahiga Mutahi of Nyeri County. Go to Nyeri County and see what's happening. I also like Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua. He's doing something commendable. Why? It is purely because the people who have been elected in those positions, they have what it takes. Okay, some of them might be having spots that we all know, but the fact of the matter is that they're doing something on the ground, something that can be seen, something that can be quantified. We require it. Why do I lecture in the university? Thank you very much, Mr. Amon K. Bellon. I suppose you're one of my students, at one of my master's students. Why? It is purely because these people, they understand the economics. They understand what we call, they understand what ought to be done. Number one, to be able to uplift their people, the people that they lead. They know the key areas to touch. They know what should be given, how much, and whether, and justification for that, of course. But if you put somebody who does not understand that, don't expect any development to come. Therefore, I urge all Kenyans, and I have said, and I repeat it again here without fear of contradiction, that if you have a bad leader in your ward, in your constituency, in your county, don't blame anyone. Even to the top position, it is purely because you are the one who voted that person in. So after every 5 years, you have a scorecard. Look at what these people have done. If they have met the threshold of being re-elected, I have no problem them being re-elected. But if they have done nothing, why should you continually have somebody who never delivered in the first term and expect him to deliver in term 2? If he was a failure in term 1, will be a failure in term 2. So it's about us people making the right choices and decisions. We should not be influenced by what we call those goodies that they bring to us during the campaign period of time. Do not appreciate somebody who gives you a fish. Appreciate somebody who gives you a fishing rod. And I do not know what happens during the elections day, because our people normally get confused. And after that, they continually complain until the end of that term. So let's put the right people. And let's have a minimum. Why do I teach in the university? Why am I lecturing in the university? Because I want to create leaders of tomorrow. I want to create a competent governor. I want to create a competent president. I want to create a competent women rep. I want to create a competent governor, senator, MCA. And after all, if you don't understand education, what else will you understand? Then you have got no locus standi. You have no basis of being a leader anyway. You can lead in other areas that does not require those complex interpretations. So you can become a leader of maybe of your church, for that matter. And remember, even that particular church requires a leader who understands. So you can just become a spectator and leave professionals, leave those people who understand those particular matrices and what have you to lead. But there's no point of you becoming a leader by virtue of, some people are well endowed in terms of resources. And by the end of the day, these are the people who get elected because they have the financial muscle. Some people get elected because maybe they stole from the public coffers. We are not interested in those kind of leaders. So and those people who say that you do not require education to become a leader, and those people who say that they're inborn, that they were naturally endowed by the maker by having what we call leadership qualities, those are leadership qualities by their standards. So we need established standards. That's why we have a grade A minus, a grade B plus, a grade B, a grade B minus. Similarly, just like we do the rating in the academic circles, we also require to rate those people who wants to become leaders to leaders. It pains me to see when somebody is complaining that, like me, I don't vote. I vote with my brains. I don't vote with. By the way, I've never eaten any campaign money, and that one I can stand and of course vow for that. I have never, because I don't vote because of my stomach. I vote for posterity, and I'm calling upon all leaders, and especially those people who worship me, that we require to put leaders who can help this nation grow. I salute all those leaders who have done well. There are leaders who have done exemplary very, very well. And again, those people who do not have degrees, the universities are still open. They can go back to school, they study, and after 5 years, they can come and, of course, fight for the same positions. After all, even those being elected now will not remain in those posts forever. So if you think that you've been disenfranchised by virtue of not having a degree, go back to school. Study. If you lose it this time loud in 2022, don't you worry. We still have 2027. We still have 2032. God willing, 2037. Go back to school. Universities are open. We have got so many universities in Kenya, by the way. Almost every county has a university. So register, pay school fees, go and study. Don't come giving us the shenanigans and charlatans that some people that were born leaders. We are not going to subscribe to that kind of thinking. We require men and women who have passed through a systematic way of measuring the intelligent quotient, and they have proved beyond a shadow of doubt that they qualify for that particular post. And remember, the issue of honoraria causa does not count here. The issue of honorary doctorate does not count here. Honorary doctorate has got no academic value, by the way. That's only pure recognition. With a lot of humility, I have no problem with those who have been given honorary doctorates. I appreciate. And of course, I'll also talk about honorary doctorates. Even an honorary doctorate should be given to a deserving person, not just anybody. An honorary doctorate should be given to somebody who is deserving. I will not mention names. People who have actually been able to influence masses, big populations, people who have done something that can be seen. Like, if I may say anyway, Mother Teresa deserved more than 50 honorary doctorates, because she did exemplary very well in helping and alleviating the suffering of humankind. I salute Dr. Macharia, SK Macharia, the owner of Royal Media Services, for the job well done. I salute Dr. Manu Shadaria. I salute Dr. Ben Wiregi, for the former managing director of Britam. Those are people deserving because they have been able to contribute immensely towards human development and, of course, support. So we are not going to allow people with honorary doctorates to say that they have doctorates. We are saying people must acquire, go to class and study. There must be justification for that. And therefore, I'm in support of Wafula Chebukati. I'm in support of Honorable Duale. I'm in support of Honorable Badi and those people who think like I do. And may God bless you. Thank you very much for continuing to watch me on my YouTube channel, and sharing of ideas continues. God bless you all. Thank you.